What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian Whyte and Francis Ngannou. Okay, now Dillian Whyte, first of all, you know he was a kickboxer, and he had a good record. He had a good record, and he has pretty much called out, or should I say, blasted Francis Ngannou. Okay, and this is what he had to say. He said, I have called Ngannou a coward because for a guy who is 6'4" and is 18 stone, he has not shown enough heart in his 2 defeats. He was on a 10-fight win streak, mostly first rounds wins against journeymen, and as soon as he stepped up, he lost twice. When people did not just stand there and let him hit them, Whyte said to the Sun. Okay, Ngannou said he would fancy a boxing match, but I noticed he didn't mention my name even after I publicly called him a coward. Says it all, really. However, I like the sound of stepping over to the UFC, seeing what sort of deal could be made. Becoming heavyweight champion in both is something no one has ever come close to doing before. Wow. Now, we know Ngannou has demolished his last 4 opponents. You know, if you guys UFC, I watch it here and there, and Francis is really making a name of himself, right? And I think that Dillian Whyte, you know what? Let me pump my brakes. Let me tell you what the response was from Francis Ngannou. He says, I know Anthony Joshua, but Dillian Whyte, I only heard about him when people sent me articles about him. I didn't know him before. Everyone says what they want. I don't think anything about it. If he wants to fight MMA, we will find out. If I'm a coward, Ngannou said to Sky Sports. Yes, I would have a boxing match. Whoever is possible and whoever is possible. Okay, yeah, whoever is possible and whenever is possible. The top heavyweights, I am always confident in my power. I have no doubts with my power. Whyte is waiting for a finalized date for the location of his own match against Alexander Povetkin. Now, let me counterpunch. Dillian Whyte calls Ngannou a coward because he questioned his opposition. Okay. Then he called him a coward, and then he noticed that Francis Ngannou didn't mention his name. Francis Ngannou said, I didn't even know who he was. You know, so basically, Francis is calling Dillian Whyte a Deontay Wilder, so to speak, with notoriety, right? And I think that Dillian Whyte, due to the fact that he used to be a kickboxer, now he's a professional boxer, I think they should do both. I think that Dillian Whyte needs to, because over here on the WBC, he's being screwed around, and he's calling out UFC guys. So if he's willing to go to the UFC, then he's calling that guy a coward. And that guy now has his attention, right? Or he has that guy's attention, rather. I think they should make that fight happen. I think they should go in there, first of all. If Ngannou's willing to fight, boxing-wise, I think if he wants to step over to this platform, I think it depends on the money. Because these are prize fighters at the end of the day. They fight for money, regardless of your UFC or your boxing, right? Well, I think they should fight in which makes the most money. And I think which makes the most money is probably UFC. But maybe a boxing contract would be lucrative for Francis, you know, because he is getting known for knocking people out. Okay, so they could always do both, or they can pick which one is more lucrative for them. But I think that fight should happen. Dillian Whyte called him a coward. He drew for first blood. And Francis was like, I don't even know who you were. I know Anthony Joshua, though. So that was kind of a punch below the belt. You know, and it's one of those things where if you watch boxing, you know, and you know Anthony Joshua, you should know who Anthony Joshua knocked out. But fair play, you do have a guy that, you know, he has a certain amount of access. You know, I don't think, because Dillian Whyte's a popular boxer if you are a pretty hardcore fan. Some casuals know about Dillian Whyte, but I mean, he's not widely known unless you're from the UK. If you're from the UK, you know Dillian Whyte. Okay? But if you're not from the UK, it's a 50-50 chance. Okay? So, but nonetheless, none of that matters now because Dillian Whyte or Francis Ngannou has responded to Dillian Whyte. So now he knows who the hell Dillian Whyte is that called him a coward. And I think if someone calls you a coward because you're just finding out who it is, I think you need to go see that man. I think you guys need to settle a score. That's what I think. That's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Francis Ngannou and Dillian Whyte's statements. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys can counterpunch. Peace.